All right, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Tuesday night, 10:32 p.m. That's California time out here. January 21st, 2025 is the date. By the way, we'll be sending out some of the decals, requested decals, and Earthmaster writing pins here over the next couple days for those that have not received it. I sent out a batch earlier last week. We'll send some out some more tomorrow and the next day. Latest activity here on the Earthquake 3D globe shows looks like some movement across our crunch zone around the Java Trench area. Still seeing a lot of earthquake activity up here across Japan region, Taiwan recently, and I'm still a little concerned here with the potential for a megaquake on the Kumano Ridge and the Nankai Trough area. This is a region that has seen a lot of earthquake activity around it, and it's coming up on a regular interval time period from when we last seen a megaquake out here back in 1944 and 1857. So got a little concern here with this area in terms of the likelihood of seeing a megaquake out here. As you can see, earthquake activity all around it here recently, putting that right in a prime spot to build up strain at a quick amount out here across the Nankai Trough. Nothing big going on it for now on the area for now, but man, we definitely want to keep an eye on it. The latest quake here, shallow quake, just prior to the Izu Trench. That earthquake coming in as a 4.4, 6 miles deep. Again, the general plate movement here, when we see activity around the region, puts the strain right here across this plate boundary, but the main area of concern is going to be the Nankai Trough right there, as mentioned. Quite a bit of earthquake activity stirring up here around the Tonga Trench and the Kermadec Trench here. The latest, a 4.7, pretty deep earthquake, 338 miles deep here for this 4.7. And as you can see, a handful of deep earthquakes there throughout the day today. Nothing major going on south here across New Zealand. Pretty quiet out there for now, but we'll see if anything takes place there across that plate boundary here in the coming days. So there's the Taiwan activity. They're still seeing a lot of pressure being generated here across the main Taiwan area. The latest quake in this region, a 4.2. There's obviously a little concern, with the Nankai Trough, but also this area right here, just prior to where that swarm has been stirring up here. Well, there's a swarm deep here actually, these are very shallow earthquakes. But inland, away from the plate boundary, this is another subduction zone that has a lot of time that's passed since a big megaquake on that area just outside the Okinawa region of Japan. So numerous possibilities out here. No big earthquake activity yet. The largest magnitude here so far in the last 24 hours going to be a 5.5 here across the Papua New Guinea area. And this can, it may look like a lot of earthquake activity. I do want to share the standard number of earthquakes out here on any given year. As you can see, 5-pointers consist easily between, looks like about 1,300 earthquakes per year of magnitude 5.0 to 5.9. There's the M8.0 and above that we're expecting sometime. 2021 was the last time we seen an 8-pointer out here. So here we are, 2025. Getting close here. I think somewhere maybe across this area I've seen an 8-pointer, but again, it could happen at any given area. Even down here in Southern California, we could see an 8-pointer across the San Andreas Fault. Far as Southern California goes, a handful of earthquakes out here. Nothing big. In fact, 2.5 map and above removes all the earthquakes, aside from a couple out here in various locations. Nothing big. The latest, a 2.7 here across Big Pine, California, up there, well north of the Mount Whitney area, north of Ridgecrest. A couple smaller earthquakes here on the Garlock Fault shear zone as well. No major swarms here. This area around the Redlands area and Mentone region, well, that region backed off here in terms of earthquake activity. We did have a little bit of movement here yesterday and a little swarm, a little bit today as well, but things have calmed down. 43 earthquakes here in the sequence of events there, just off the San Andreas Fault in Southern California. Western Nevada is still seeing typical earthquake activity out there due to the elevated strain on the plate boundary. San Francisco, pretty quiet. Clear Lake volcanic field, geothermal fields out there hitting the map tonight with a lot of earthquake activity. A little swarm going on down here. And as you can see, there's a couple other geothermal plants as well. So this looks like it's away from the main area, but this area is littered with geothermal plants all over the place. And these are induced earthquakes here from the procedure that takes place there to create power. Nothing major going on there across the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. A couple of earthquakes earlier today. Let me check the Tremor map here this evening, see what we have for Cascadia Tremor, which still decent number of tremor counts up there around that region of Oregon. If we look at the last week here, we got 1,163 epicenters of tremor, a little bit up north and south, but mainly across this area. It's kind of interesting here because this area has been somewhat quiet in terms of tremor. If we go back the last month, actually I'm going to do a little time period here from last year up to today's date. And that's going to be a big number, obviously, from last year and including this most recent activity. 66,000 epicenters of tremor. This shows everyone here, pretty well-defined area of subduction zone. That's the Cascadia subduction zone, the length of it. This activity is stirring up down underneath the area of the land into the subduction zone. And when this takes place, obviously, we're building upstream here. The strain is building up in this area where the locked area of the Cascadia is for the next big mega quake. I was just trying to pinpoint maybe if this area of Oregon really hasn't seen a lot of tremor activity last year and we're just kind of filling in, but it's hard to say. But either way, some elevated tremor activity here around the center portion of the Cascadia subduction zone. Nothing going on as far as earthquake activity goes, but it's slipping downstream here, that's for sure. Up around the Washington area, a couple smaller quakes here in the last 24 hours. That swarm over here across the Seattle fault area looks like it's died off a little bit here today, but it could easily come back. We'll keep an eye on that region that's been seismically active here recently. Texas oil fields still getting hit out there with earthquake activity. Nothing going on here aside from some snow out there. Pretty impressive snowfall totals there across the Gulf Coast states. And quite rare. They don't see a lot of snow out there too often. Let's check out the earthquake 3D globe, see what else we have here. New Zealand jumping in on the map right now with a 3.1 at the southern end of the Kermadec Trench. It looks like there's a little bit of migration pattern going on here, venturing down towards the New Zealand area. New Zealand is another area that has the potential for some big-time megaquake activity, whether it's the Alpine Fault or the Hikurangi subduction zone. So we do have to watch that area maybe for some further migration and potential for larger earthquake activity. South Sandwich Trench, 4.9. A little bit of activity here off the coast of Morocco, it looks like. Some 3 stirring up. 5-pointer, that was just outside of Turkey, it looks like. Going to be this earthquake right here, Western Turkey. 5.0, shaking things up earlier this afternoon. Since then, a couple more earthquakes down there across the Ethiopia rift boundary. 4.7, the latest quake showing up in that region. Things have been quite active out here in the last couple days, and they are continuing. There's still quite a bit of strain out here against the western areas of the Pacific Plate and adjacent plates, and we got to watch these regions that are well strained out there. Space weather activity, well, a little bit of flaring going on right now from a fairly massive sunspot area. As you can see on the UV filter of the sun, that is a flare going on. Looks like we're at a C7.1 right now. Nothing big. It is topping out. That sunspot area does have potential maybe for some M flare and maybe some X flare activity. 3961 is the culprit. There's still a little intermixing popcorn colors in here, indicating the complexity within that sunspot core, but it's been off and on here since it's been visible here on the Earth-facing side of the sun. We'll continue to keep an eye on this region for some flaring. All other areas, kind of hard to say. Maybe this region right here looks like it's starting to grow a little bit, but main area concern going to be right here, 3961, the culprit of the current flare, and maybe for some M flares here soon. Who knows? Overall threat, 15% chance for X flare, M flare at 60, C flare at 99% chance or so. We do have a little bit of aurora activity coming in here in the forecast in the coming days. It looks like the 24th here, a little shot of some plasma that got shot off here from a recent M flare. I'll show you guys here on the Space Weather Prediction Center page. It's going to be this model right here. Put this into motion. Earth in the green, sun in the yellow, obviously. Stereo A here in the red. There's that CME activity. If you look here close on the model, looks like we're just barely going to get a little glancing blow from that massive plasma cloud that got shot off there from the CME. Don't expect much. A lot of times when we see these events, we pretty much, it misses us completely. But there is a little G1 class storm possibility here on the January 24th UTC time period. So we'll check back on that as we get a little bit closer. Nothing major there in the severe weather department. That cold winter system here is moving east, bringing with it a lot of snow out there across Florida. Crazy. Florida and the Carolina area. I mean, it's wintertime. These guys are getting weather like they're, well, I can't say it's average, right? You don't see snow out there all that often. But that moves out of the way. Potential here of a low pressure system developing off here into the southern area of California, bringing with it maybe some rain showers, snow across the area, but it's not going to be that big of a precipitation maker. Man, I hope February is not going to be a super dry month like January has been out here across California. It's been brutal, folks. I don't see any big storms headed this way. The drought is setting back in here across California, unfortunately. Let's get rid of those cameras. I was checking out the snowfall there across the Gulf Coast states earlier. It's pretty neat to see. Drought conditions. Oh, man, it's been a couple years since we've seen this. We've had some efficient winters out here with ample moisture, but look at this. Extreme drought setting in here across the area of northwestern California, all across Southern California. Here where I'm at, we got some mild, moderate drought up around the Paradise area. And it doesn't look like it's going to improve. If anything, it's going to get worse out here because there's no rainfall in the forecast out here. And man, it's I don't like that. It's been an odd winter, very odd winter. This area across Washington and Oregon, before winter started, it was supposed to be wetter than normal up there, and they had a lot of rain back in December, but they've been getting gypped on the rainfall out here as well. So I don't know. It's definitely a weird pattern. Not good. Not a good one. I don't know when it's going to change. I hope it does, but right now is not looking favorable for any type of change out here across California. All right, what else is there, folks? I think that's about it. And again, I got a whole bunch of requests here for some Earthmaster decals. Pretty cool decals. Weather resistant. You can put them on your car, computer, your guitar. Even had a couple guitarists out there asking for some. So sending off another batch here. If you haven't got yours yet, look for that here in the coming days. It's just a little time consuming. Being sick and all, we got kids and, just a whole thing going on out here. But we'll get that out here this week for those that have not received it yet. I think that's about it. Got anything major here on the Climate Prediction Center? Let's check out long-range models here. Well, yeah, that would be nice. Weeks 3 and 4. But this was put out, January 17th, a couple days ago. Looks like it's forecasting here the potential for some wetter weather across northwest California, or northwestern areas of the states. And that includes Northern California. So that's the 3 to 4 week outlook. That could be from January 1st or February 1st to February 14th. Hopefully that rings true. The 8 to 14 day outlook, not so good. And of course, the near term, even worse out here for precipitation. So we'll kind of see. This is behind here. Not for sure where these guys are getting their drought monitoring stations from, but it's way worse than that. Way worse. Somebody needs to update that for sure. All right, folks, I'm out of here. Have yourself a wonderful day, wonderful evening. We'll catch you guys back out here for the Wednesday morning update. Take care. Hopefully after a restful night of sleep here, we'll see you guys back out here in the morning.